Why do your rabbits pee on the floor? Hello everyone, I am Mariska and I'm the bun mom of 4 adorable rabbits. In this video we're going to talk about rabbits peeing and pooping on the floor. Because yes, they can do that. Maybe you have a lot of experience with your rabbits being kind of incontinent and marking every spot possible. And I can tell you this can be changed. Rabbits can be litter box trained. And I will tell you about the possible reasons why they will pee and poop onto the floor. They are marking their territory. Rabbits are very territorial creatures, which means they will use their urine and poops to mark their territory. So they are actually saying, this territory is mine, you're not supposed to come here, this is my place. So this means if you have multiple rabbits in the house and these rabbits are not bonded to each other, they will each, consider the room their own, and they will start marking the territory, especially near the habitat of the other rabbit. So in my situation, I have Shira and Fliepje in the living room, and these rabbits cannot be bonded. I mean, Shira will try to kill Fliepje, so the only solution is to both give them their own habitat and to let them hop around the room separate from each other. So the one moment Shira is hopping around and the other moment Fliepje is hopping around. And the result is that they will try to make the territory their own. So at one time Sarah decided to choose a corner in the room next to Fliepje's habitat and to mark it. And of course Sarah is a huge rabbit, so her puddles of pee were huge. So at a certain moment I decided to place a public toilet on the spot where Sarah used to mark a territory. From then on she started using that toilet to mark a territory because it's next to Fliepje. And Fliepje also tends to mark a territory next to Sarah's habitat, but Fliepje's poodles are very, very small, so it wasn't necessary to add another toilet. But in this case, there's not much I can do apart from what I've already done. And because the situation is, what it is. I can tell you that Fliepje and Sarah have both been fixed. So in this situation, being fixed doesn't help entirely. But I guess if they hadn't both been fixed, the mess on the floor would be, much bigger. Hormonal behavior. Rabbits reach sexual maturity around 3 to 8 months. So this also means their hormones are going to come up. And when we are reaching puberty, we know how that feels. There are spikes of your hormones, and especially during springtime, rabbits will find the need to find a partner and they will try to reproduce. It's nature, so it's very logical. And during this time, the hormones will spike excessively. So this can also mean your rabbit will spray around the house. This actually happened in my previous home when I had just Popje and Silver. And at that time they hadn't been bonded yet, they hadn't been fixed yet, that still needed to happen. And Popje was in her habitat, it was still a cage, so sorry, it was a bit too small, I know better now. And at a certain moment Silver was hopping around the room, and of course he was very interested in Popje, who was in her habitat. And Silver started spraying, so whenever Popje was, at the bars of her cage and Silver was close by, he started spraying over Popje. And not only over Popje, when I was around he even sprayed over me. And he could spray so far, it was impressive. It was 1 to 2 meters or something. I found pee in the curtains, over the heating system, over the floor. It went everywhere and it was incredibly smelly. They have like these scent glands with which they, the pee smells very strong. So it's not very fun. So the solution for this is to get your rabbits fixed, of course, to have them spayed or neutered, because this will calm down the hormones and they will stop spraying, like this, like very far. And of course it will help when your rabbits are bonded, because then they will share the territory and they won't feel the need to mark the territory. Of course, once Popje and Silver were fixed and bonded, they didn't spray anymore and the whole problem was fixed as well. your rabbit isn't litter box trained. Maybe your rabbit is still a baby and hasn't been litter box trained yet. Maybe your rabbit has only been in the house for a couple of days or a week or something. Then it's very logical that your rabbit is still getting used to the environment. He hasn't chosen a spot to pee yet. So it can happen that your rabbit will, pee there and there, on the floor, on the sofa, everywhere, because, he hasn't been trained yet. Rabbits are very neat and clean creatures, so they will choose a place to urinate after a while. And you can watch your rabbit to see which corner of the rabbit that he or she chooses. So maybe there's a specific corner, and then you can put a litter box into the rabbit and fill it with litter and maybe add some hay, because rabbits like to poop and pee where they eat. So that will be a good solution. And you can also make a habit of putting the poops around the litter box back into the litter box. And when there's pee around the litter box, you can wipe it up with a piece of paper or toilet paper or something and put it into the litter box to tell your bunny, this is the place where you should do your business. In my experience, even younger rabbits can be litter box trained quite quickly. And when you get a rabbit in a house, it's best to keep him or her in the rabbit the first, at least for 1 day, maybe 1 to 2 days, and put a litter box inside of the rabbit. So, your rabbit will get used to the rabbit and will be forced to learn where the litter box is and where the poops and pee should go. Your rabbit might be ill. Another reason why your rabbits might suddenly start peeing on the floor is because of medical conditions. So my Poppy and Silver, as I said before, they have been litter box trained and they used to do their business in a litter box very well. However, at a certain moment, Poppy and Silver started peeing on the floor. They have their own room upstairs and they have, of course, a litter box. But still, in spite of that, I started finding puddles of pee all around the room next to the litter box, and the litter box got very drenched even between 24 hours. And I later found out that they both have E CUNI, so that's a parasite they both have. And when the parasite is active, I think it affects the kidneys, and because of that, my rabbits start peeing on the floor. They get kind of incontinent. That's a sign I have to treat them again. So I have medicines to treat them with, Panacur. And when I've given them the treatment again, this behavior will get less. It doesn't really disappear. I think maybe the parasite has affected their kidneys too much for it to disappear entirely. So that's the reason why they are peeing on the floor. So this means that when you see a sudden change in your rabbit's litter box behavior, when he starts peeing around the litter box or on the floor, and there's no other possible reason, then it's a good idea to go to the vet to see if there's a medical problem. Your rabbit might be getting ill or even be ill. Old age. We are all getting older, and of course rabbits are also getting older, and when they reach old age they might not be able to move very well, not as they moved before. So there's a chance your rabbit might not be able to get into the litter box anymore, especially when your litter box is a bit high. So he might not be able to get in very well and then start, choosing to do the pee and poops outside of the litter box. So in that case, it might be a good idea to choose a lower litter box so your rabbit can get in more easily, and that might fix the problem. The litter box is dirty. So what will you do when you go to a public toilet and you see the toilet is very, very dirty? Well, I know what I would do. I would run away as quickly as possible and do my business elsewhere. Well, of course not on the street. But anyway, when a rabbit goes to a litter box that is fully drenched with pee, it's smelly and such, they won't go on the litter box because, the rabbits keep themselves very clean. They don't like smelly places. So they will start peeing around the litter box. So the logical solution, of course, is to keep the litter box clean. You can clean it every 2 to 3 days, depending on the number of rabbits, on the amount of peeing they do. Just make sure it's, it isn't really drenched, because then, your rabbit doesn't want to go on anymore. Behavioral issues. There might be behavioral issues in your bunny which make them pee onto, for instance, the sofa or on your bed. You know, possible reasons are that your bunny is trying to seek attention from you. Maybe you are busy on your phone. Maybe your bunny hasn't had that much attention of late. Your bunny might be saying, hello, I'm here. Let's pee on the sofa. Let's pee on the bed. Yeah, now I have your attention. And especially because when that happens, you will instantly talk to your bunny like, hey, what you doing? Because then your bunny gets attention. So next time your bunny knows, previous time I peed on the sofa, my bun mom or dad, was reacting to that. So that helps. So I've had this behavior with Popje, and I think Popje was also very defiant. I was sitting on the sofa and I was eating something she wasn't allowed to have. And Popje, at a certain moment, she started begging, of course, and sitting on my lap. And of course, I didn't give her the food because it was bread or something bunnies aren't allowed to have. And of course, after a moment, she started seeking attention, and she got a bit upset because she wasn't getting any of the food, and she got defiant. And she started peeing on the sofa or on my lap. She was telling me, hey, that's not fair, you're eating, I'm not getting anything. So that might be a reason for your bunny to pee on the sofa, on your bed or something. It could also be that the bed or sofa is smelling very much of you. So then it could be territorial behavior, of course. Stress and anxiety. The last reason I'd like to mention is that your bunny might be stressed or anxious. There might be reasons for them to be, upset. Maybe you've moved to a new house. Maybe you've made a big change to the habitat. I saw this on the internet recently that one of the bunfluencers had just, changed the litter place of his rabbit. He made this whole beautiful place for his rabbit to, do his business with a whole hidey house and such. And the rabbit suddenly started peeing all over the house. So it was a beautiful setup, but the bunny, he didn't really like the sudden change. So this might be a reason for your bunny to, to be, confused and upset maybe, because they don't like changes very much. Your rabbit might also be stressed because there are suddenly a lot of people in the house, or maybe other pets. Maybe you have visitors, a party, or somebody has brought a dog inside of the house. Well, rabbits can be really afraid of dogs or cats, and then they will start, might start peeing because they are very nervous. You might recognize that when you're nervous because of something, you will have to pee all of the time. So rabbits can feel the same. So if this happens, it's very important to calm down your bunny. And if you'd like to, make changes to the habitat or something, to know that this can happen, maybe you can introduce new things slowly, or maybe when you're moving, that's something that just has to happen. So when I moved to this house, I actually didn't have a lot of problems because my rabbits are still on the same floor I used in my previous home. So in my previous home I had vinyl flooring, and when I moved here I cut a piece of the floor from my old home and put it under the habitats of my rabbits. So the floor still smells the same, the habitats are still the same, except for Poppy and Silver, who live upstairs in their own room. But they also have a piece of the floor of my previous home, so it still smells like them. So in their case, there weren't very many problems. And when I was moving, my rabbits stayed with a friend of mine, so they during the worst period of moving, when everything was in a turmoil, they were actually in a quiet place, so they didn't get extremely stressed, not more than, necessary. So these were 8 possible reasons why your rabbit might be peeing on the floor. I hope this was helpful to you. But if you have any stories you'd like to share, or maybe tips I haven't mentioned before, please share them in the comments. And then we will see each other next time. Bye!